Let's see if this is it. There we go. All right, can y'all hear me now? No? Yes? No? I see the thing going around my avatar. Okay, good, good, good. All right, guys, I was gonna do Adam Montgomery's interrogation tonight. Um, I kind of changed my mind, but then I guess we'll do it anyway. But I did want to talk about Cairo Jordan for a second, since that was one of the cases that was really it kind of stayed on my mind all the time. I'm just really glad that he has his name back now, that he's no longer just Vegas suitcase dough. Um, I'm glad that there is at least one person in custody, so that should make it easier for them to catch the other person and to get the full details, especially on so serious a charge. This case is like a prime example of why we shouldn't expect law enforcement to give us every single detail in cases that they're investigating. All this time, we were all like, why aren't they giving more information? Why don't they want to do a composite photo or a bust or any of this type of stuff? And little did we know just how hard they were working in the background to pull together the pieces of this puzzle and find out what happened to this baby for real. Man, some of the stuff that I'm reading and hearing, and it's crazy. Like the whole 100-year old demon in him, and just oh Lord. I wish that someone in her circle had been aware enough to know that she was not in the right mental space to have this baby. And apparently she's been saying these things. She said that she survived. I'm trying to think of the words now. She survived death attacks from her 5-year-old son since the day he was born. So this is 5 years of her having these disturbing thoughts about this baby. Hold on one second. I need to close the door. Yes, baby. You got a drink in your cup. Here you go. Here you go. Bubs. We got a co-host tonight, so don't mind her in the background. Um, but yeah, this has been 5 years since the day he was born. This woman has been having these delusions, and I kind of feel like somewhere along the line that she came across someone who fed into those delusions. Bubby Sleuth Mom says hi, and Kai Mojo says hi, kiddo. She's totally absorbed and engrossed in her iPad right now. It's not really her iPad, it's her mom's, but if you ask her, it's hers. Everything is Bubby's. She told me the other day about my computer. Get away from my computer. I'm like, okay. Um, so yeah, it seems like she came across someone who uh, fed into her delusions, or even possibly, I don't want to say what I'm thinking, because I really don't want to like slander any particular religion, but I think I have an idea of what they spun off. You know how like the Valos kind of spun off the Latter Day Saints theology and went to wherever they went with it, because that was not left field. That was somewhere else entirely. And I think I know which religion she is spinning off of, way out into outer space. But I don't want to slur any religion, so I don't want to say. But just some of the things that have come down, that have come out, is like, okay. But anyway, I'm really glad he's got his name back. I'm really glad that at least uh, his family knows what happened to him. It's really sad and heartbreaking. Really, honestly, I watched the Sleuth Mom's post where she showed the video with the great grandmother, and I felt so just right there with her, man. Her reactions, and I'm gonna agree with Sleuth Mom. I don't think they should have just hit her with that live recording her. Um, because like you said, we don't know what kind of health she's in. She's a great grandma. She could have went into a cardiac arrest at some of that stuff. I mean, not everybody is able to handle things as well as she did. Hopefully we'll get more details. Hopefully the mother will be arrested here shortly, since they know who she is now and they have some idea of where she's been. They can probably get some idea of where she's going. All right, so Adam Montgomery, I came across his police interrogation. It's about 35 minutes long. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to stop it every once in a while if anything really seriously like outstanding is said. I kind of watched it earlier. I kind of watched it earlier, but I didn't really get a chance to because me and Bubby were. Here we go. Me and Bubby were kind of playing around at the same time. So here we go, guys. And I'm also going to upload this video separately so that you can just have the his interrogation just by itself. So after this, I'll upload it. So here we go.
Cigarette? We might be able to work on that if you. We just turned this on. This is audio and video recorded. You alright with that?
Nope.
Okay. We'll do our best to try to get you the cigarette.
Yeah, we got cigarettes somewhere, so try to work on that, okay? Before we have any conversations, I'm just gonna have you read something, okay? And then we'll just go from there. All right, just so you know, because you're under arrest right now, I have to read you this stuff, or you have to read it to me. Again, Detective Riley, Detective Dunleavy. It's January 4th, 2022. It's 8:55 p.m. You can read and write English, correct? Okay. So, Adam, I'm going to have you start from there where it says I, and then I'm just going to have you read down.
I, Adam Montgomery, has the right to remain silent.
Oh, start from here. I, Adam Montgomery,
Give the following voluntary statement. Detective Dunley, Detective Riley, who has identified himself as a member of the Manchester, New Hampshire Police Department. He has advised me the following. I have the right to remain silent. Anything I say can be used against me in the court of law. I have the right to a lawyer for advice before any questioning and to have one with me during questioning. If I cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to me by the court. If I decide to answer questions now without my lawyer present, I still have the right to stop answering at any time. Do you understand? Yes.
Okay. Do you understand all of these, 1 through 5?
Yep.
Okay. What I'm going to have you do, just initial 1 through 5. That just indicates that you understand what I'm saying, all right?
Yep.
All right. Can you just read that line
Do
for
you
me?
understand each of these rights? Yep.
And you're going to check either yes or no? All right. And then read the next line for me.
Are you willing to have each of these rights? And are you willing to waive each of these rights and answer questions? Sure.
Okay. Now, Adam, you're just going to sign that line. All right. Appreciate it.
Before we go forward, can we get a cigarette in here?
So there's a sensor in there. So I'll work on getting you a cigarette at some point. I can't promise you one right now, just because the room we're in, and if this starts going off, I don't want to. Flood the building, you know what I mean?
Smoke detector ain't gonna go off?
That thing will,
Yeah.
the sprinkler. So, but at some point we'll work on getting you. I know we have cigarettes in here. I know where they are. Okay, you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Do you need a water?
I don't need nothing.
You good? Okay. Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
Okay. What's not okay?
Nothing, what's up?
All right. So I'm just gonna ask you some basic questions. You said you can read and write English, correct?
Sure.
All right. Can you just state your full name for me?
Adam Montgomery.
And Adam, what's your birthday?
12290.
And what address are you using to
I'm
call?
not using any.
Okay. What phone number are you using?
I don't have one.
Okay. What was the highest level of education?
GED.
Okay. Where'd you graduate high school from?
I did it. I got a GED.
No, but I know, but like, where'd you get
While I
that?
was incarcerated.
Okay. Right now, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
Okay. Do you have any traumatic brain injuries or anything like that? Anything that prohibits you from recalling any memories or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
All right. So we've met before, right? We met the other day. I know you've had a long time down here. You've kind of been a roller coaster. I'm going to apologize for what happened out there. That's not how I do business, okay? That had nothing to do with me. Those are guys that like to play G.I. Joe, all right? If it had been up to me and I could have gotten a hold of you some way, I would have reached out to you. But you don't have a phone, right?
You guys could have just told my wife you wanted me to come in.
But aren't you not supposed to be talking to your wife?
No, that's bullshit.
It's not. You're not supposed to?
No, I can't be.
Thank you, look at that.
I can't be.
I guess they're gonna let you smoke a cigarette here. They must have talked to somebody.
So I don't know why I was saying I can't talk to my wife because that's bullshit.
Maybe it's some old paperwork that somebody saw.
Yeah, from last year, but it was over with and done with after I got out of jail.
So that's all cleared up.
DCYF said it was cleared up, the police said it was cleared up, everybody said it was cleared. They said that there was no contact order between me and her.
Okay, and that's Kayla we're talking about. Okay. Well, you know what, if that's the case, then that's my fault for maybe not checking a little bit further into it, so I apologize for that. Again, I apologize for the way things went down out there. Like I said, I'm not part of the SWAT team, I don't do that stuff. If I had had a good number for you, I would have just called you in, but I don't have you don't have a phone, you said, right? Okay. So I apologize for that. I do appreciate you being cooperative with me. You've never given me a hard time. I know we've only met a few times, so thank you for that. Let's talk about why we're here to talk.
Tell me what you want to say.
Tell me what you know.
I don't know nothing.
Well, what was our conversation about the other day?
You said you had a couple questions you wanted to ask me. You asked me the questions.
Well, what was our conversation about the other day? Remember we met, I mean, you remember that was only, what, a few days ago, right? We got a lot of worried people and scared people right now in the community. I know you're worried about the well-being of your daughter, and I kind of want to get ahead of this because I don't want you to be painted as a monster.
Well, that's what you guys are already doing.
I am?
We're not.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
That's what you guys are already trying to do, man.
Explain to me how I'm trying to make you, or whoever is trying to make you out to be a monster. Who's telling you that stuff? Is there somebody that I work with that told you that? Somebody you're close with, that they told you that?
No.
Alright. But you understand this whole thing is getting a little out of hand, would you agree?
Of course. But,
So that's why,
look, it's just the way you guys are going about it.
and again,
Yeah,
I don't
not you specifically, but
Right.
yeah, nobody comes out there like that for a second-degree assault charge. Nobody. been arrested for worse charges. They don't come out and throw fucking flashbangs at my girlfriend's car and ram us into the fucking guardrail. They don't do that. For a second degree assault charge.
Again, you understand what the charges are, right?
Second degree assault, right?
Yep.
Okay,
There's also an endangering the welfare charge
okay.
and interference with custody. Okay,
So how did I interfere with custody?
so that paperwork that we served you the other day, remember that?
Okay,
When they were in the alleyway, remember outside of on Lake Ave?
yeah.
There's paperwork that you have to comply with. You understand that, right? We had that conversation, did we not? Right? So that's what that's all about.
So second degree assault charge, what is this referring to?
Well, that's what we want to talk to you about.
Well, explain to me what, if I'm being charged with it, what the hell am I being charged with it for?
Well, your daughter had some injuries
What?
that you know about when you lived on Guilford Street.
No, I do not. What are you referring to?
Well, you were there, I wasn't, right?
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to her having some good marks.
What are you referring to?
Marks that were left on her by you.
Absolutely not. I have nothing else to say.
Like,
No.
we talked about how we were worried about your daughter the other day, right?
Okay.
Do you remember that conversation?
I remember that conversation, but right off the rip, with the way you're approaching the conversation, you guys are completely out of line. So,
Me?
yeah.
Do I? In the time that you've known me, which
What
is
you just said to me, you guys are completely out of line.
okay, but so explain to me how are we out of line?
I have nothing to explain.
Okay, but wouldn't you rather explain it so we can make sense of it than just have other people's side of the story? Like, you want to defend yourself and like this picture people are painting of you. Now's your chance, man. Defend
Whose side of the story? Who's telling you these things?
people that were close to you.
Obviously not.
Well, maybe at the time, maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw that reward on the news, right?
No, I did not.
Do you know that the reward is about $40,000 to find where your daughter is right now?
Okay.
When you start throwing money around like that, people come out of the woodwork that you would never expect to do.
Okay.
So, like I said, when I talked to you a few days ago,
Can I have another cigarette?
sure, I kind of told you this thing was going to get a lot bigger.
That's not right.
And we wanted to get ahead of it.
But you're sitting there telling me that right off the rip that there was something wrong with my daughter because of me. No, that's bullshit.
Okay. So if your daughter had marks on her at some point when you lived over there,
As far
how would you explain those?
How was she got those marks?
well, I would love to know when that marks were there because DCYF came to my house multiple times.
Okay. And we know that they came there.
Right. And closed the case.
Okay. Do we know that DCYF is the flagship agency in the country?
No, but if there was significant marks like you're referring to, I believe they would have flagged something at that point and they would have said something. They wouldn't have came there and seen that the kids were well taken care of. All the kids loved being at the house with me.
So let me tell you about what second degree assault is. Because there's a lot that encompasses that charge. Basically, if there's a mark on a kid that's under a certain age, it constitutes second degree assault. Although it is a felony, which sounds extremely intimidating, it doesn't mean that somebody got their head bashed in or they got cut up or whatever. So, although it sounds pretty intimidating, the charge, I understand that. What we're talking about doesn't mean that it's the craziest crime that's ever been committed. Do you understand what I mean?
Okay.
So, somebody could have a bruise or a really bad welt on them, and that would constitute second degree assault for a kid under a specific age. So that's why that charge is there. So nobody is saying that you took like a baseball bat or like stabbed your kid, like I'm just gonna put that out there, that is not what anybody's saying about you.
Mhm.
So I know you're concerned with when I say second degree assault, but it sounds a lot worse than I think you're thinking it is. Are we kind of on the same page?
Yeah, but for you to sit there and say that it was inflicted because of me,
We're just going on what we hear. You're not telling us how it happened, so we're going with what we have.
but I don't even know what you're referring to. What are you referring to?
Your daughter had a mark on her face that people, multiple people, have told us was inflicted by you.
Multiple people that weren't even living with us at the time.
Well, there was enough people that had spoken about it.
Yeah.
People share knowledge of what they know.
So somebody, you telling him, and then he tells you, and then he tells you, so something just
No,
gets passed down the line.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like a game of telephone here. I'm saying that people say a story and then the details kind of fill themselves in, like corroborate. Do you know what the word corroborate means?
Of course I do.
Okay. You're a smart guy. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but when people kind of fill in the blanks, that's what I mean by like we're corroborating that story. But this is your time to tell me, kind of explain that. You know, if you're saying this was a mistake or this was an
I don't
accident.
even know what you're referring to. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at, is I don't even know what you're referring to.
I'm saying she had a mark on her face. I mean,
Okay, I don't even know what you're referring to.
you don't recall your daughter ever having a mark on her face?
The reason DCYF came out to visit you guys, you don't recall that? Why did DCYF come out and start visiting you guys? What was the allegation?
If I remember correctly, it was because of, I believe at the time, I could be wrong, I believe it had something to do with my uncle saying I was using drugs, and I wasn't.
Now, who's your uncle, so we are clear?
Kevin
Okay. And Kevin's last name?
Montgomery.
Now, he lived there with you?
He lived there with me right around the time when I was first going back to get custody from my daughter.
Okay.
And then he left in April, May, March, something around that time.
And just so I have it right, because I don't want to guess or like get confused, what house are we talking about?
Guilford Street.
All right, and what was the number there again?
I'm not 100%.
Okay. Do you remember what color the house was at least?
Beige, maybe?
Okay. And whose house was that originally?
My grandmother's.
All right. And grandma is who?
Kevin's mother.
Kevin's mother.
My dad's mother.
Okay. So was it the Montgomery group living over on Guilford Street?
Yeah, and they all moved out. My grandmother moved out in like January with my little brother, and they all moved down to Florida, and then Kevin went a couple months later.
And so grandma, uncle Kevin, you said little brother, and who's he?
My father's son, Michael.
So Michael, that's what I meant. Like, what's his first name?
Yeah, and his girlfriend.
And his girlfriend. And is he still with that same girl now?
I have no idea.
Oh, so you don't talk to Michael anymore?
No.
Okay. What was that girl's name at the time? Because she can help us to say that, like, this is...
Kayla, I believe.
So Michael's girlfriend's name was Kayla at the time? And you dated a Kayla at the time?
Yeah.
So it kind of got confusing in the house if somebody's yelling for Kayla?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was Kayla? Kayla you were with at the time was...
My wife.
Okay, Montgomery. And then Kayla he was with is...
I have no
idea who she was. Okay, so there was Grandma and Kevin, they moved out in when?
Grandma moved out in like...
I'm just trying to think of people we can talk to.
I'm
like,
trying to figure it out.
corroborate that stuff, you know what I mean?
It out to go back. Like I think we moved over. Thank you. I think we moved over there. I think we moved over there in like, I don't know, October, September, somewhere around then.
And what year is that?
2018.
Okay.
And at the time, I was going for custody for my daughter for at least a year already at that point, and Crystal was showing no interest of going to get our daughter back. So finally, in like I don't know, December, January, February, something along them lines, the courts called me and told me I could come pick her up and bring her home. Brought her home, and then I don't know. It was, I think, the month before my grandmother left with my brother and his girlfriend, and then the month after, I want to say, Kevin left.
So then who was left living at the house?
Me, Kayla, and the kids.
In uh, that time period, I don't know which kids were born yet and who was.
It was Declan and Seamus,
Okay,
and then Omni moved in with us.
okay. So what time did DCYF get involved with you guys? Like, were they over there often, or was it just like a certain period of time, or?
They were there every single day. The police showed up every single day, saying they
Why
did
were they
because oh, that's what it was. That's what it was due. That's what it was due to. So Kevin moved out because between me and my wife and Kevin, we were supposed to like pay the bills, keep the heat on, the gas on,
Yeah.
whatever. Well, Kevin was supposed to pay the electric bill. He didn't pay the electric bill. Me and my wife, so I picked my wife from work and showed up at home. They were shutting the electricity off. So me and Kevin got into an argument about um, not paying the bill,
Yeah.
and he took his shit and moved out. And then so the next day, DCY, or 2 days later, something like that, I don't know, DCYF showed up and the police showed up because they said that we were unfit to have the children at the house because there was no electricity in the house.
Okay.
But we had a generator running, we had the fridge hooked up to it, there was food in the fridge, everything was fine. The police showed up, seen that the kids was fine, there was nothing wrong with them. The DCYF showed up and they left.
And was that like summer, fall? Like when was that?
I want to say maybe spring going into summer, maybe.
Oh, okay. So like, you guys hadn't been there for too long then.
6 months or so.
Okay. Um, and how did it end up that you guys got kicked out of there?
All right, so it was my grandmother's house.
Right.
They didn't pay the mortgage or whatever. They moved to Florida, so the mortgage payments weren't being paid. And the, I don't know, right around Thanksgiving sometimes, the sheriffs came and threw us out. And then me, Hominy, and Declan, Seamus, and Kayla left.
And where the heck did you guys go from there?
We were in our car
Oh, so you lived in your car at that time.
for a couple of days.
Okay.
And then
Did you have like a van or something like that back then? At least to what were you driving back then?
Chrysler of some kind, I forget.
Oh, so it was just like a
A
sedan.
car sedan, yeah.
Okay, so you live in the car. So you, Kayla, and the three kids were living in the car for a few days, and then how'd you get up out of that situation? Like who took you in, or where'd you guys end up?
We ended up going to her mom's house, Kayla's mom's house.
Okay, and what's her name?
Chris.
Chris. How's she? Well, I mean, she must be okay if she's willing to take you guys in.
Yeah. All right. They're like, all right. You know what, man? Like, I don't even want to talk anymore. Like, this is just beating around the bush, man. It just seems a little too silly to me.
Well, I'm trying to figure out who can substantiate your claims that there's like you're not this like monster of a person that either DCYF made you out to be, or your family who you didn't get along with, or whoever. So that's why I'm trying to like let you kind of speak your piece about
Yeah.
all that shit. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. I just got nothing else to say, man. and like, oh yeah, and you and like I just don't want to sit there and like kind of smoke another butt.
Sure.
Sure.
I
I'll be honest, I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm a little lightheaded myself.
I just know I
That's
smoke butts for a minute.
That's all good.
But yeah, no, you
So, but yeah.
but to sit there, man, and sit there and tell me you yourself too, like this is why I feel like it's just all bullshit. This is just a game. I know it is. I'm not stupid. You fucking.
We're just trying to give you the opportunity to explain yourself.
You're sitting here telling me not to make me out to look like some monster.
Well,
But
no,
you told my girlfriend the other day that she should get the fuck away from me. That you don't even know who I am and what my past is like and all types of crazy shit. Like, but sit there and look me in my face and act.
Adam, I think, are you talking about Kelsey?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Kelsey might be exaggerating a little bit.
I don't know her to exaggerate like that.
It wasn't us talking to Kelsey either.
Oh,
There was
may have
other,
been someone
there was
else.
other people talking to her, just so you know.
she told me, she gave me your card and said this was the guy that said it.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you that I didn't say that. But if you want to believe it, that's fine.
I mean, she never had no reason to lie to me, so I don't know what she would lie about at that point.
She also told me she had no idea that you had a daughter, so I guess we could say the same thing about you telling her that.
Right, well,
Right?
she knew I had a daughter. I mean, I have one with Kayla, so she knew I had a daughter.
She didn't know about Harmony.
She knew I had other kids.
She told me she had no idea that you ever like lived with her and that you like barely knew her. I don't know if she was lying to me because or whatever. I have no idea. I don't know her. I know you better than her, so that's what I'm saying. So Christina takes you guys in, and she's doing all right. And then would you guys move over to Union Street after that? Is that when you guys get that spot?
Nope, we go to the shelter.
And that's the one on.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Who's we? Who went to the shelter? They allowed you to go as a family to the shelter?
See, I thought they didn't like guys there for some reason.
They always let guys there. They didn't let me in there this time for no reason. Their reason was bullshit, because I would have been there with Kayla again.
So back then they let you in there,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was all of you guys. Like, it was the
Five.
five of you. They let you guys stay there.
No. All right, see, yeah, you guys are just.
I'm trying to understand. I don't know your timeline of life, man. You're there. I'm not. That's why I'm trying to ask you these questions to clarify them.
I already told you the other day what transpired. So we didn't even go to her mother's house.
Okay. Who didn't go to her mother's house?
Harmony was all.
Okay, so Harmony didn't go to Chris's house. So explain to me how she didn't end up going to Chris's house.
I've already explained this to you.
Okay.
Well, there's some discrepancies between what you're telling us and what other people are telling us. You're saying you brought her down to Mass, that somebody said she came up from Mass.
I never once said I brought it down to Mass.
What did you say? She came up here to get her?
I never once said. I was audio video recorded the other day. I never once said I went down to Mass.
So you're saying that she came up from Mass?
I'm not saying anything else.
Why is it that you refuse to talk about her every time we bring her up?
Because you guys are just sitting here beating a bush. It's over and over. You guys asked me what happened the other day. I told you what happened.
You
And
wouldn't,
now
you wouldn't tell us the other day.
You guys talked to me the other day. I explained to him what happened the other day, and now it was just a charade. Yep. No, don't worry about it. You're not under arrest, and I'll come up with some fucking
We
bullshit.
didn't arrest you.
No, the other day, no. But then
you
you
were
had a
free to go.
fucking SWAT team roll up on me, and the fucking D-Techs follow me around for the last 3 days.
Yeah, people are coming out of the woodwork. That's what we're trying to tell you. Like, we don't want you to be painted as a monster. We want you to maybe explain yourself a little bit and give us some side of your story. We have nothing. We have just what we're hearing from people. $40,000 can drag a lot of people out, whether you believe you're friends or not.
No, I bet
It's
it
a lot
would.
of money, man.
Yeah, I know it is. Absolutely it is.
That's what we're trying to get. Now's your time. Like, you keep locking up on us. You don't want to tell us anything about her.
I got nothing else to say
I think you care,
about all my kids.
right? But the one I care the most about is your daughter, Harmony. And we have people around the clock calling into us, giving us tips from all over the country, because they care too to try to find where she is. My only goal, which I told you the other day, is to make sure that she's safe. I don't want you to get tied into something if you didn't do anything wrong. My job is not to jam somebody up for something that they didn't do wrong. And if you can tell me that you didn't do anything wrong, then I want to believe you because, dude, I've met you now a few times. I helped you out when you were at the hospital when you were having a fucking meltdown. You told me about your kids. I sat there and I talked to you. Dude, I could have fucking tased you right there, and I didn't do that because I saw deep down inside that you were hurting and that I wanted to help you. Right now, all I'm trying to do is help your daughter. I want to bring her home, and I can't do that without your help. Dude, I can't do that without your help. Help, hey, can you look at me? Help me, please. That's all I'm asking for. I can't sleep until I know that she's okay. And I know that you know where she is or what happened to her, but I can't do it without your help. And if you don't want to look like this fucking animal, because I don't think you are. Not that I don't think you are, I know you aren't. But I can only do so much for you, man.
I know.
I'm begging you to help me. Because as much as you're hurting inside, I'm also hurting inside, and I don't know how you can sleep at night because I'm sure it's eating the shit out of you. Am I wrong?
No. No, see, me and Pots. I know I'm not fucking seeing my wife, I'm not seeing my kids, you guys are
Right.
just playing games, like this is just...
Dude, but I'm not trying.
We're not trying to play games again.
Like,
telling my wife and kids that I'm not allowed to see my wife and kids, like...
but dude, that was a mistake from some court paperwork that hadn't been updated. So like I said, I apologize for
But
that.
it was updated, DCYF told them...
No, this was some like DV paperwork I'm talking about.
But I'm talking about DCYF already told us multiple times that there was no contact order.
Maybe
Okay.
through DCYF, but
It could have been through DCYF.
Yeah. It's
So let's,
something criminal.
dude, let's fucking forget about it.
Alright,
You've seen your wife and kids over the last how many days, right?
I haven't seen them in the last I haven't seen my kids in the last 2 days, 3 days.
Okay. You're always gonna be their father, Declan, Seamus, and then Sierra, right? Kiera. And then there's Harmony.
I got nothing else to say. That's it. That's it, guys. I got nothing
Hey,
else to say.
can you make me a promise? Like man to man? Can you tell me that she's alive?
You're gonna play the same word games that you played with me the other
No.
day.
It's not word games.
I got nothing
Because
else
we
to
care,
say,
man.
guys.
We want to know.
This
I got
isn't gonna go anywhere. Like this isn't gonna stop. So
No,
you
I
know.
know it's not.
So
So
either get on the bus now or get run over.
I got nothing else to say.
Why is it you have so much trouble talking about Harmony?
Guys, I got nothing else to say. I want a lawyer with me.
We're gonna leave this copy of this ex parte or it's a petition from DCYF. You can read it later sometime. I'll put it in your property. It's basically the same thing you got the other day. It's just a little more detailed that we handed you. It does say that you're ordered to help us locate Harmony Buttes unless you're not gonna do that.
I'm just telling you guys I want a lawyer.
It is 9:25.
Well, and there you have it. And there it is, folks. Adam Montgomery's interrogation. Ain't it though, Kai? That's exactly what he is, and not a point of sale either. I kind of really hope that the rest of it does get released after the trial or whatever, even though it's not admissible in court or any other interrogation that they had with him, because I'm sure that's not the only time he's been in that little room. I hope there's some body cam footage that's gonna come out from when they were trying to talk to him and he was like, "Am I under arrest? If not, I'm going. I'm leaving or whatever." So we can only hope. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. Bubby did so well tonight. She's over there chilling, watching her PBS Kids videos and not making a whole lot of noise. I'm proud of her. Uh, but I'm gonna get out of here. See if I can get Bubby to go to sleep. Maybe I can trick her into going to sleep. Thanks for joining, and I will see y'all again maybe tomorrow. Bye.